I'm sitting here with NBA champion, NCAA champion, sixth man of the year, and the new assistant head coach at the University of Arizona, Jason Terry. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good myself too. Well, there was some great news that came to the surface yesterday is that you have accepted the assistant coaching job at Arizona. So first of all, congratulations on that. How excited are you to come back to your alma mater and coach?
Well, I'm very excited, and with this whole pandemic thing going on now, and what our world is going through, needed a little breath of fresh air and some good news, and finally got that yesterday when I got the call from Coach Miller and staff, and so I'm ecstatic. I mean, obviously, playing 19 years in the NBA and then graduating from the U of A, my lifelong dream was to become a college Division I head coach. Didn't know it would be at my alma mater to start. I thought that may have been like a finishing type deal, but to get a start now at my alma mater, a place that made me grow from a boy to a man, and really set my career on the path that it ended up on. It's phenomenal. I'm overly excited right now.
How did the whole thing come into play?
Well, the last 5 years of my career, I really started to focus in on my post-playing career and what that career might entail. And I got to give the NBPA tons of credit. One, for helping me obtain my college degree through their continuing education program. And then two, I entered into the coaches NBPA program, and I had a great time. I learned tons of experience. And then as I progressed through my career, I think it was in Houston in 2015 when I had my first college interview, and that was with the University of Alabama, Birmingham, during the Final Four that year. And so, ever since then, I just wanted to continue to practice my craft, hone my skills, and hoping that one day this opportunity will come about.
Well, the opportunity is here now, and I know that you won a championship, an NCAA championship with Arizona in 1997, which we both know is almost nearly impossible to do. And then you also won one at the NBA level. So what do you plan on bringing from those championship experiences to Arizona?
Well, definitely my championship pedigree and experience and all the life lessons that go along with the 19-year NBA career, also a 4-year college career, impacting the lives of those young student athletes that will step foot on the University of Arizona campus, and let them know that if they aspire to, take the career path that I chose or aspire to be successful, not only on the court, but in the classroom and in life, I'm a guide, I'm a mentor that they can use as a tool to, kind of vet, their experiences off of, and then, hopefully also inspire them to be great in whatever career path they choose.
So that was something else I was going to ask you is we're starting to see a lot of these players opt out of college to go to the G League route, but you were a guy that went all 4 years, really cared about your education. Do you think that the G League is going to affect the way that you guys need to recruit, or do you not really see it making an impact?
Well, it's hard to say that it will not affect the way we recruit. It probably will change a little bit, the dynamic of it. And I don't want to overspeak because obviously Coach Miller and his staff have a philosophy on recruiting that they use. And I'm going to dive in head first and into whatever that philosophy and strategy is. But I can only imagine that the entire landscape of recruiting one and done type college athletes will change on the NBA level. But my brother Sharif Abdur-Rahim has done an outstanding job with the G League, and they have a vision and a plan at where they want how to grow their side of the game, and it's just something that we're going to have to navigate as we go. It is a new deal, but at the same time, for us, it's about the college experience. We want to afford these young student athletes the experience of getting on a college campus, learning how to hold themselves accountable, teaching them the life skills that they'll need in whatever path they choose. And so if they opt to come to Arizona, we love that. If they opt to go to the G League, I'm sure Sharif and his team have a great plan in place, and we won't discourage that, but we know what we can provide them at the University of Arizona.
Do you remember when you first walked foot on campus?
Oh, do I? No, no doubt about it. My story's kind of crazy, but there was three guys ahead of me that U of A was looking at to recruit and had got commitments from, and so there was no spot for me. So I decided to go to the University of Washington, but I got a call late from Coach Lute, and that's why they call him Midnight Lute. I got a call at the stroke of midnight, and Lute invited me down to campus, and he said an opportunity may be open up. I can't guarantee anything, but I would love for you to come see the campus first. Went down, stepped foot on the campus. First of all, I'm from Seattle where it rains all the time. So
Mhm.
it's October, it's 85 degrees. Everybody's wearing shorts and tank tops. And I mean, the weather was phenomenal, palm trees. And, once I stepped foot in that arena in the McHale Center and in that locker room, and I looked at the Wall of Fame, and they had all the guys: Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott, Khalil Reeves, Dennis Stoudemire, all the guys that have went pro. And to me, that's what I aspired to be. And to be able to look at that wall and see that, okay, the path I'm choosing is a road that has already been navigated and has shown a path of success, then it just made me that much more encouraged about, making that decision to join the Wildcats.
Arizona, the weather was the main reason I went there too, because I'm from Chicago. In the winters, I was like, I'm not doing this again. Like
Right.
I refuse. So it's the same thing, same reason why I went. And the parties, that was a nice perk. Um, parties were fun too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
do you remember who was like a teammate that made you better, or someone that held you accountable, or maybe someone on the coaching staff that you can remember?
You know what? I think that was another thing that was unique about my University of Arizona experience. It was a brotherhood. And so, yeah, I had some immediate teammates, guys like Michael Dickerson, and not Khalil Reeves, but Michael Dickerson. And I had Reggie Geary, who pushed me every day in practice. Mike Bibby was another one.
Mhm.
AJ Bramlett obviously was a lifetime friend, my roommate. But it was the guys that came back. Like in the summertime, we would get together and Sean Elliott, Steve Kerr, Damon Stoudemire, Khalil Reeves, Rayos, Corey was all these guys would come back and compete against us. And it made me feel like, oh man, I got to step my game up. Like these guys are pros. If I can show them that I belong, then maybe I do have a chance. And so, playing against those guys and chopping it up after the runs, real conversations, not about basketball, but about life, really gave me a tremendous perspective and outlook on, what the future may hold for me.
So, what did you learn through all these experiences, going to college, going into the NBA? What have you learned outside of basketball?
Well, I just learned that as a professional athlete, you hold a lot of responsibility when it comes to mentoring, when it comes to impacting the lives of others. And for me, eh, I really hold that close to my heart because it took a village to raise me. I had a lot of mentors growing up in Seattle: Gary Payton, guys that were professional athletes, Damon Stoudemire, guys who I looked up to and idolized that really took the time out. Doug Christie, who came back and like motivated me every day to give me hope to, a kid from a single parent household in Seattle, inner city, that when it looked like there was no hope outside, those guys came back and supported me in my dreams and aspirations of who I wanted to be. So I knew once I made it, it would be my duty to give the same type of inspiration to the next generation.
And I actually interviewed Damon Stoudemire like right when the news broke that you were possibly going to get the job. I think this is like a month or two ago, or you were in the running for it, and he could not say enough good things about you. And he
Yeah.
said that you would obviously be the best fit for this position. And are you going to be still able to play in the Big Three while you're doing this, or is that completely over?
Yeah, my Big Three career, they won't retire my jersey from my performance or anything like that. But I will say my career is over in the Big Three.
Damn,
And
that was so fun.
I know, it was a great ride. And the big thing about the Big Three is, and I give Ice Cube a lot of credit, is that you gave guys a platform and an opportunity to get that feeling back again. Because there's one thing that I learned this from, I can't remember what athlete it was. He said, when you retire and there's no more crowds cheering for you, that's when you kind of realize, like, man, that dream is over. And so I think Ice Cube gave us that platform and that dream to walk out of that tunnel as a gladiator again and to hear the roar of the crowd. I mean, I can remember my Big Three experience in Miami where, you would think they would be booing. And, from my experience there, from winning a championship against the Heat and LeBron, but they were like rooting for me, like put Terry in, and it was loud and it was crazy. And they just wanted to see me out there again, one of their guys that they look, that they kind of rooted for. And so that feeling, man, is kind of the ultimate as a professional athlete. And I just thank Ice Cube and staff for giving me that opportunity.
You just mentioned, I want to know that Mavs championship. Obviously that was an incredible matchup against the Heat. What do you remember most?
I just remember with about a minute left, Dirk and I embraced at half court. And, it's crazy when you go through something in athletics, in sport, in competition, and you witness and realize defeat with somebody, and you go through it with them for about 5 or 6 years, and you hear all the negativity, and you hear that they're not going to win, and then you finally get there, and in that moment you win, and you realize, okay, all the work we put in, all the energy, the effort, all the sacrifices has finally paid off, and you finally reach that pinnacle. And I just remember, he gave me a big hug. I looked at him, and he was almost already crying, and we still had like 45 seconds left. And then the other part was seeing my family and seeing my mother and father. I grew up kind of single parent, kind of co-parenting type deal, but to see them hug and embrace on that stage was something that I had never seen in my entire lifetime. Like, I'd never seen them hug and share a moment together, let alone be a moment that was because of me. And so for me, that was the lasting memory that I had from that moment. And it's something that I'll never forget. Obviously, the tattoo. I wasn't gonna be able to live that down if we didn't win it all. So just a great moment in my life, and I'll forever be grateful for that.
So obviously basketball is something you've been a part of your entire life. Has it, now that you're actually, getting back, you're staying in basketball, coaching, how was it like kind of handling retiring, so to speak? How was that for you?
Well, for me, during my off season, I always had my post-playing career in mind. So in preparation, I coached a girls AAU program for about 12 years in Dallas. And so I knew coaching was in my DNA. And then my last 2 years, Jason Kidd mentored me. As I was playing in Milwaukee, he allowed me to be in every coaches meeting, every scouting call, every preparation meeting, every developmental activity that we had going on. So I knew I would be ready for this moment. But at the same time, I delved into broadcasting. I did an assistant GM role just because I really wasn't sure. I know I was good at broadcasting. I had a great experience with Turner, Fox Sports, and then in the GM with the Legends, Cuban gave me an opportunity to be in management to understand the business of basketball. So I really didn't know if it was going to take me to the NBA level or college, but right now it's college, and I'm thankful. Great mentors, like I said, Avery Johnson was a great coach of mine. My high school coaches, Ron Drayton, Lou Hobson in Seattle, and then also, Coach Jim Rosborough and Coach Lute Olson. I mean, those are my true inspirations of wanting to continue my career path and take up coaching, just so I can continue to live on, the legacies that they've left behind.
So I don't know if some of those youngins were able to watch you play, but you were a walking bucket from three.
Oh, yeah.
For you, who were some of the top shooters that you've seen all time? And you can include yourself on the list.
Well, I'm gonna stick with my Arizona brother. I mean, who hit more big shots at the rate and percentage and the efficiency of a Steve Kerr? Not many. But then if you look at some of the great shooters of today, obviously I got to pay homage to Ray Allen. He's number one all time. Reggie Miller, Steph Curry. How can we not say this kid is going to surpass us all on that list? Yeah. And I mean, just alone, 2 MVPs, 3 NBA championships, where he shoots the ball from, like there's no line that can stop him from shooting that ball with distance. And he shoots it efficiently. But there's a guy that I like that probably Pac-12, Arizona, they won't like this, but Washington State's own Klay Thompson is one of the purest shooters that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, his shot is effortless. He gets it off quickly, and he's very efficient. So those are some of the top shooters. I mean, if you look at the young shooters coming up, Damian Lillard, Trae Young, I mean, those guys, Devin Booker, who's just right up the street in Phoenix. So, you know, this is just the era that we live in now, man. The league is full of guys that can shoot the ball, but there's only those special elite group, and those are some of the ones that I named.
And then your top 3 favorite 6 men all time.
Top 3 favorite 6 men, Deadlift Shrimp, because I looked up to him in Seattle. He was another one of my mentors early when I was in high school. Then you got Jamal Crawford, Seattle's own. And then I probably put Manu Ginobili, but I can't leave out Lou Williams. Manu was a champion, but Lou Williams, I mean, how many 6 men of the year? They might as well just name the trophy after him or Jamal, man. These guys are multiple times 6 men of the year.
I agree. Well, I wanted to thank you again for your time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you with the Wildcats next season. It seems like they have their roster pretty much set. I know they did just sign 2 of those, the twins from Lithuania. How are you feeling about the roster going in?
I love it. There's a little bit of international feel to our roster, but what you know that you get from international born players is they're going to be ready to step on the campus day one and contribute and compete. These guys have played professionally for a couple years now in their native countries. And all the guys I've seen that have done that and came into the NBA, a la Luka Doncic, have came in ready from day one, not scared at all. Tremendous skill set, high basketball IQs. I love James Akinjo, and I love Terrell Brown, who is my godson. I've watched him since he was a toddler. He's ready, senior transfer from Seattle University. He's going to have a phenomenal year. So I just can't wait. You know, hopefully this COVID thing will pass and we can get our hands on our guys so we can start to develop them and get them ready in Sean Miller's system.
Well, I definitely think hiring you was the right direction to go. Again, who's not going to want to go be coached by an NBA champion, NCAA champion, and of course, being at the University of Arizona all 4 years. So again, thank you so much for your time. And I really look forward to watching you coach.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Look forward to it.